What is going on, guys? Money Webby here, checking in week 3 with a few of my favorite plays on this slate. I'm very excited about it. Honestly, this is my favorite slate so far this year. A lot of different ways you can attack it. You can be extra contrarian here, as I think there's a lot of guys that their price is so good where it's tough to avoid them. Maybe if you want to fade them, get an extra kind of leg up, hope that they just absolutely underperform in good spots. Is definitely a way you can go, but I'm going to kind of cover guys that I feel the most confident in this week, need to be on your radar. And yeah, so we got a ton of good stuff up on the Fantasy Points website under the DFS tab of the articles. Skim through here. We got contrarian DFS angles from Graham Barfield, Scott Barrett, top 3 DFS values. You got college football DFS content for tomorrow. We got showdown stuff from earlier this week. My first look piece. We got the wide receiver cornerback matchups. Definitely good to look over from Wes Huber for your wide receiver plays. We got the research tools. Obviously, those are extremely important to kind of consider what guys there should be salaried at based on our kind of stats on the back end. That's a DFS supermodel. We got ownership projections. Obviously, that's important for daily fantasy, considering the ownership for each player. And my favorite, honestly, is the expected fantasy points tool. That kind of highlights guys that are positive regression candidates, or maybe guys that are overperforming that you can easily fade, or not easily, but easier fades for you. So if you guys are excited about this week, excited about these free videos weekly coming your way, go ahead and drop a like in the video. I'd really appreciate it. It goes a long way. And make sure to subscribe to the channel to get more of these videos. So first thing up here is Russell Wilson is one of my favorite plays. I'm very excited about this Seattle offense this week again here. I'm against the Cowboys, but that's kind of an easier thing to say. I'm not going to cover that too much, but if you don't want to go with Russell Wilson or Dak Prescott, my favorite pivot would be Cam Newton this week, just based on the opportunities that he's been getting through 2 games. Quickly here, so 26 carries on the year. Obviously, elite usage for a quarterback. The thing is that 23 out of those 26 have been design runs, which are a little bit more sticky week to week, as they're not as reliant on the defensive scheme or philosophy that the team is playing. If they're covering the wide receivers with more man coverage, that allows for more opportunities for scrambles, as their back will be turned to the quarterback. The quarterback can easily scramble out of the pocket for some more opportunities there. But Cam Newton, majority of them have been designed runs, so they're more just kind of more easier to project for and less week to week with him. So I think we're going to see more of that this week against the Raiders defense that is not very good. They've been pretty bad against the run game in totality. So I think Cam Newton's going to get some more red zone opportunities. He's actually 4th, including running backs, and red zone carries. So it's pretty much like an elite running back with his usage. And then you add on the passing on top of that. He actually had the most passing yards in one game since his rookie season, week 2, where he had over 400 yards. So he's pretty much going back to his early Panthers days with the usage. The 23 design runs through 2 games have been the most in a 2-game stretch of his career. And then he's actually, compared to Lamar Jackson, he's been seeing more design runs than average through the first 2 games compared to the 9 design runs that Lamar got on a per-game basis last year. So I think Cam Newton's a good guy to add to our build here. Just kind of showing you how you can really approach the slate with a few of my guys that I'm really high on. The next guy that's a very good value that I can't really ignore here is Miles Sanders at 6,400. First solid game. I mean, nothing crazy, 21 DK points. The thing is that the opportunity share they had was very good. 23 touches, had over 70% snap share, ran a good amount of routes. And there's not really a game script that can hurt Miles Sanders. That's the very good thing about him. He's a workhorse back that you don't have to hope that they don't get down or hope that they get up big so he gets more touches. I think he's going to consistently see around 20-plus touches week in, week out. If as long as he doesn't overly struggle and they have to just abandon the run game completely. This is a very soft run defense matchup, especially with considering that Geno Atkins was just ruled out today, and also Mike Daniels seems unlikely to play considering that he didn't practice at all this week. So I think Miles Sanders, he's going to be in for a very efficient and solid usage week here. I think he can easily find the end zone, and at 6,400, the price tag is too good to ignore here. I'm just ignoring ownership because I love the matchup so much. And yeah, so Miles Sanders, lock him into your lineups there. And then for my next guy, Kenyan Drake at 6,000, another very good matchup here. Kenyan Drake has been disappointing to say the least through the first 2 games. Not enough receiving work, only 4 catches for 14 yards, but I think we're going to see a bounce back game here. I think this is going to be the Kenyan Drake show for the Cardinals. Obviously, the Cardinals are one of the best game environment type offenses in the NFL. They run at a very fast pace. The Lions have been running actually at a decently fast pace in neutral game scripts, and I think they're going to be coming from behind, so they're probably going to be playing a little bit faster here. So I think Drake will be able to get over 20 touches again, get some scoring opportunities in the red zone, and I think he's going to be a smash play here. Aaron Jones absolutely feasted on this defense last week, to say it slightly. I mean, the guy had over 100 yards after contact. 116 was the final number, I believe, after contact. So just ignoring what he did before contact, he was already an elite play. And then considering after all the work he did after contact just made him even better. And also the thing with how efficient he was, it's not like Aaron Jones had a crazy amount of touches last week. I think he had like 18 carries, the final number was. But he had 2.07 fantasy points per touch. So that's crazy efficiency. So if Kenyan Drake, say he just gets half of that efficiency, he gets like 1 fantasy point per touch, and I would project him out for around 22 to 25 touches in this game. So just if he can do half of that, the guy's probably going to return value. So I mean, 6,000 here, very good spot against the Lions. I think he is a very good play and gives you some salary relief over the top guys. I think Derrick Henry is a good bounce back candidate. The expected fantasy points numbers kind of bear that out as well. But you do get almost $2,000 in savings with Kenyan Drake compared to Derrick Henry. So I think that's a very good way to attack that with the kind of build here. You can go with Russell Wilson and pair him up with the next guy I'm about to mention, DK Metcalf, as I think Metcalf is going to have a huge game here. This is just a perfect game environment, very easily stackable. 6,500 for Metcalf. He's been extremely efficient through 2 games. That may be the one negative on him. But the Cowboys secondary is severely banged up. They already weren't good through the first 2 games. Trayvon Diggs, the rookie, did have some struggles last week and against Calvin Ridley. And the week before that, he wasn't that great. He let up over 60 yards in both games. Chidobe Awuzie, they're like one kind of consistent cornerback in that defense. Not consistent as in like good, but like the one guy that's been there since last year. He's actually out for a few weeks. So this Cowboys secondary is going to be very kind of questionable. I think the Seahawks are definitely going to try to test them with Metcalf and Lockett here early and often. The Seahawks have been one of the biggest flips on just offensive play calling through the first 2 games. They ran at one of the highest clips last year, but they're actually passing at one of the highest clips this year. So a huge difference. I don't think it's fully priced in yet with guys like Metcalf and Lockett, and then you add on top of that the matchup. So I think Metcalf could be a guy that gets close to 100 yards here again and a touchdown. So at 6,500, just a very safe play here, especially in cash games. Maybe in tournaments if you want to fade him. That obviously makes sense. I wouldn't fault you for it, but I think he's going to have another good game here against a banged-up Cowboys secondary. And for my second guy, I wasn't on him completely to start this week because Denzel Ward has been so solid in coverage. But if you take Denzel Ward out of that defense, he's ruled out. I'm going to be all in on Terry McLaurin here. F1, I think he's going to have a crazy good game here. His target share has been very good. Really one of the only playmakers on this. Did I say Redskins? I probably did at this point. But the Washington football team, one of the only playmakers really on this offense. He doesn't even have a pitcher. That's just how good he is. He doesn't even think he needs one. I think he's going to see close to 10 targets again here. I think they'll probably be coming from behind. This could be a more competitive game. But I think he's more likely than not to get a positive game script And very soft matchup. I think he can easily beat this Browns secondary. Denzel Ward was really the only good player standing in this Browns secondary. They had some injuries. The rookie Grant Delpit was put in IR with his injury. So I think McLaurin's going to have a huge game here. The salary doesn't reflect the easier matchup here at 5,900. So I'm going to go ahead and put him in this core. So that's the core 5. There's not anyone that I feel overly confident at tight end, honestly, this week. There's definitely guys that I like more than others. I mean, I think Zach Ertz is a little bit underpriced, considering he's still Zach Ertz. I mean, the guy is still one of the best tight ends in the NFL. Goddard obviously has been great for them through the first 2 games. But I think that's going to kind of balance back out to Ertz having a big game here against the Bengals. And they'll be in a good amount of 2 tight end sets, obviously, with Rager being ruled out. Deshaun Jackson's another beneficiary of that. But I think Ertz could honestly see some more looks in this game underneath, some more underneath stuff for Wentz, and Wentz needs to have a better game here, not a bounce back game, because he's been getting a lot of heat on social media and stuff like that. So that's kind of my core 5 that you can kind of maybe pick a few of those guys if you want to put them in your builds. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, make sure to go ahead and check out the Fantasy Points website and give us a chance. Consider subscribing. You won't regret it. It's really just a ton of good information. It's like an information overload, because there's so many different ways that you can just absorb this content. We got betting stuff season long, pretty much anything you can ask for, some research stats, so you don't even need to go on to other websites. It's really just all in front of you here. And then we got the DFS podcast on Thursday nights, where Graham Barfield, Scott Barrett, and John Proctor break down each game. The matchups podcast or matchup live stream with Greg Cosell is very good as well. You can kind of add a DFS angle to that if you just listen to what kind of matchups he thinks are better than other matchups. He'll kind of highlight some specific plays there in a sense, but that's pretty much it. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you aren't, so you can continue to get these videos. Good luck here. Hope you guys kill it this week on the slate. Take home some money, take home some winnings, and we'll see you back here again next time.